Hey guys, it's Sarah here and welcome back to another bookshop review. I have not done one of these book reviews in what seems like forever, so I'm really excited to jump right back into it. Instead of taking shots, I decided to make myself a strawberry matcha. I made the strawberry puree as well as the dry strawberries on top. I'm really excited to try it. I have not tried the strawberry puree yet, so just give it a good mix. During my time away, I have actually read a couple of books, and I'm very excited for today's video because I absolutely loved this duology. I thought this was the perfect book selection for a video back. For last year, this was my favorite book, and I know a lot of you guys have heard of it. It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover, and I also have It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. I personally think the sequel is a little better, but we're gonna leave that for another video. Today we're just going to be talking about the first one, It Ends With Us. We're gonna start off with the cover design, and I personally give this cover a 5 out of 5. Once you read the book, there's just so much symbolism on this cover, and I remember seeing a TikTok of someone talking about the covers of this one as well as the sequel, and when I tell you, my mind was completely blown. So this book is about a woman named Lily, and she is an extremely hard worker, and one of her biggest dreams was to open up her own flower shop. Moving away from her small town to Boston was the move that she really needed to start a new life. With moving to Boston, starting up her own business, and falling in love with a gorgeous neurosurgeon, everything in Lily's life was just too good to be true. With this new relationship with Ryle, she can't help but think about her first love, Atlas Corrigan. When Atlas reappears in Lily's life again, Lily can't help but feel like everything that she has built up for herself is crumbling down. This is not a book I would typically pick up on my own. There's a lot of tropes in here that I'm not a big fan of. There's so much to love about this book. It's so beautifully written and it felt very realistic. Obviously, at the end of the day, it's a fictional book, so there are some scenes that's a little bit of an overkill. Personally, it was not any concern of mine. I think it was still so good. I was so invested in it. I absolutely ate this book up. I can't say there's like a detailed world build. Obviously, we know like the houses that they go to or like Lily's flower shop. Like we know things like that. But aside from that, everything kind of feels very general. So you kind of just make up this town in your head and like kind of what it looks like. So there's not much of a world build. I think this book specifically has more to do with like emotions, feelings, and we'll talk about characters later on, but overall, I think this book is very well-rounded. If you are more into like the detailed and you don't know what like is on that corner and on that street, like if you need those type of descriptions, then just know that this book isn't like so descriptive like that. There's a very big emotional aspect in this book where I think a lot of people do feel very connected to. The ending of this book was not the ending that I expected though. My version of when I heard It Ends With Us was completely different from what actually happened, so that threw me off a little bit, but in a good way. So for the plot, I do give a 5 out of 5. It was so beautifully written. I absolutely loved it. Next is tears. I do not remember crying in this book. I did get emotional, but I don't think I shed any tears. The romance is a 5 out of 5. This whole book is about romance. Obviously, there are deeper meanings to this book and other topics that also contribute a lot to this book, but I will say romance is a very, very big thing, so for that I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 5. For the characters, I am going to be giving this a 5 out of 5. I think the characters is what really made this book for me. There is not one perfect character, and I think there's just so much for everyone to work on, to build themselves up for. So in that sense, I think the book was very realistic. I think the people are very relatable, and obviously, there's some people that need to work more than others, but overall, I loved the characters. There's not one character. Actually, no, I can't say that. Most, if not all, characters I did love. Overall, I'm sure you guys can guess it. I think I gave a perfect score for every section. I do give this a 10 out of 10. I don't want to be too biased. I do see why some people would not like this book. It is kind of slow, on the slower end. Obviously, it's more realistic fiction, and if it's going to be titled realistic fiction, There are some scenes that it's like a little wild, but there are just some minor details in it that I can see why people can be triggered by. But overall, I think the piece was so beautifully written. I absolutely just adored this book as much as I hated to admit it. I didn't want to be that person that kind of follows a trend and falls in love with the basic book that everyone loves, but truly once you read it, you feel for the characters so much. You really see the process and the struggles of Lily. Not even just Lily, but you even see it in all the other characters. But I think I also loved this book that much more because my expectations for it was very low. Honestly thought I was not gonna like it. I thought it was gonna be just so overhyped. I personally loved it and I hope you guys do too. That was my book review for It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. If you're one of those people who want to stay away from trendy books, I do hope that one day you will give this one a try because it really changed my perspective a lot. Go in it with low expectations. I think that's what helped me. Go in it with low expectations, therefore it'll exceed what you expected. Anyways, that was it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe, leave a comment down below. I'll make sure to read every single one of them, and I'll see you guys next time with Sarah. Bye!